Are you a musician? Do you ever wish that you could have that skill, that talent that some of your friends might have? That ability to kind of just sit down at a piano and just start playing? Do you wish that you knew even where to begin? Well, today, I'm going to show you exactly where you can start. We're going to be talking about a couple of really important things, but mainly we're going to be talking about what a scale is. Scales are so important in music. You don't have to have all of this knowledge of theory to understand what a scale is. We'll talk about what music theory is in another video. But as far as scales go, it's really not that hard. It's not that hard. You just gotta work on it. Oh, and if you thought that you were just gonna watch this video and you were just gonna remember all of it forever without ever having to practice again, you're wrong. You're very wrong. You're wrong. But let's get to it. Okay, so a major scale. There are so many different kinds of scales, but the main one you're going to have to know, and the first one you're ever going to have to learn, is called a major scale. And I'll make it really simple. Major sounds happy, minor sounds sad. Keep it simple. Major, minor. So, don't worry about what made those different. Just recognize the sound as major and minor. Okay. Scales are basically just a pool of notes that you can draw from to make a song. A melody, you can make chords, tons of things, but it all starts from a scale, a pool of notes. If I look at the layout of a piano, I have a group of 3 black notes, then a group of 2 black notes, and then 3, and then 2, and then it repeats throughout the whole piano. These 3 black notes are the same as these 3 black notes, these 2 black notes as these 2, and these 2, and so on and so forth. Basically, the piano repeats this group of notes that I'm pressing down. This group of notes repeats over and over again, from here, here, and up, and everywhere else. The letters that are associated with each note are as follows: C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. We go back to C here, but C through B. Now, we don't start at A because if I were to go in alphabetical order, I would end up actually with a minor sounding scale. Remember, we're dealing with a major scale right now. If I start at A and I play to A, I end up with this sound. See, a very different kind of sound. It's a little bit ambiguous. We want to deal with the happy major sound. This is the most basic sound in all of music, in my opinion. Okay, so a major scale, you now know it. It's from this note all the way to this note. You're only dealing with the white keys, too. You don't have to play any other key except for the white keys to play a major scale. In fact, if you started from the lowest note on the piano and you went all the way to the highest, you would just be cycling through the C major scale over and over and over again. Now, it's called C major, again, because I'm starting and ending on C. This specific C that I'm playing, by the way, is called middle C. It's the C right smack in the middle of the piano. It's kind of like your anchor for the rest of music. So what if I want to play other major scales? Well, like I said, there are 7 letters that we deal with over and over again. 7 white notes, but then there are 5 black notes. 7 plus 5, 12. There are 12 unique notes on the whole piano. 12 unique notes. There are 88 keys on the piano, but 12 unique keys. Now, I can start a major scale on any one of these 12 notes. I'll show you. Here's C. Here's D. Here's E. And I could do that for all of the other ones. If I wanted to start on this black note here, this one's called D flat. We'll talk about what makes it flat in another video, but notice they all have that kind of happy major sound. The way I'm able to figure out how to make that sound happen over and over again, no matter where I'm starting, is just by understanding how the distance between 2 notes works. A major scale is made up of, like I said, 7 unique notes. And then I go back to here, which would make it 8. But 7 unique notes in each scale, in each major scale. I have to understand the distance between each next note in the scale. So from here, the first note, to the second note is something called a whole step. A step, okay. A step is basically going from one note to the note right next to it. There's two kinds of steps in all of music. You have a whole step and you have a half step. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll show you. A whole step is from one note to the next note with a note in the middle. This note is skipped. If I were to go from here to the literal next note, this is called a half step. So whole step, half step. If I do anything bigger than that, we're not dealing with steps anymore. We're dealing with something called skips, or I just like to refer to them as intervals. We'll get to that in another video. But I now know that a whole step has one note in the middle, and a half step has no note in the middle. That goes for anywhere on the piano. I'm going to pick an arbitrary position. Same thing here. Even if I started here. Whole step. Half step. I'm going to show you the distance of half steps going up the piano. Half step, half step, half step, half step, half step. I'm going to show you what it looks like for whole steps. Whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So those are the kinds of steps. That's it. In all music, that's it. There's only those two kinds of steps. Now, the combination of steps when it comes to a major scale is as follows. I play one whole step, and then I play another whole step, and then I play a half step. So from here to here is a half step. So I've played two whole steps, then a half step, and then I play three whole steps. Here to here is a whole step. From here to here is a whole step. From here to here is a whole step. And then if I wanted to finish it off and play the note that I started with, I play another half step. So that's my octave. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I'm going to start somewhere else. Let's say if I wanted to start and end on this note. See, the second of the two black notes. Second of the two black notes. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That's it. So major scales, if I start anywhere and I know that combination, two whole steps, a half step, three whole steps, then a half step, if I know that combination, I can play major scales all over the place. There's 12 unique major scales. Remember that. And if you know your major scales, you can make up little melodies. So let me just show you a quick example of that. If I take these unique notes, remember, I said these notes repeat over and over again. I'm just going to play white keys. The C major scale is only white notes. I'm going to take only white notes and I'm going to make a little song. I have no idea what I'm about to play, but I'm just going to pull notes from the scale and make up a little melody. So I just made up that little melody only by using white keys. Again, there's techniques on how do I know which ones to play at the same time. I'm not just going to go. Like that's just messy. Although some of that kind of sounded actually kind of nice. But there's ways to know which ones to play at what time. As far as knowing the notes that I am playing, they all come from a major scale. I hope that cleared up some things for you. If there's anything you found really confusing, leave a comment down below the description, and I will do my best to hit on any questions that I see. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully this actually could kind of jumpstart you into wanting to learn more about music. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.